Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is money. M-O-N-E-Y.
Really?
You bet your life! The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! Don't be afraid, he's harmless. Hey, that's me, Groucho Marx! Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who gets first whack at it?
We invited some railroad conductors and some longshoremen to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected conductor Carl Putt and longshoreman Clarence Blake. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, gents, to You Bet Your Life. And if either of you says the DeSoto Plymouth secret word, he wins $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you use every day. A conductor and a longshoreman, eh? Conductor, where are you from?
Originally from Des Moines, Iowa.
Tell me, who do you conduct for, the Los Angeles Philharmonic?
I'm a conductor for the Union Pacific Railroad.
What train do you work on?
City of Los Angeles.
Where do you go on your train?
I handle a run from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, Nevada.
The city of Los Angeles goes to Las Vegas?
The city of Los Angeles goes all the way to Chicago.
Must leave an awful big hole between Glendale and Long Beach. Well, that's where the city was yesterday. I was looking for it. Longshoreman Blake is your name? Where are you from?
Originally from Rome, New York.
How long a shoreman are you, Mr. Blake?
I don't think I know what you mean.
Well, frankly, I don't know what I mean either. Let's have another go at it, huh? How long do you have to be a longshoreman?
Oh, not very much.
You mean size has nothing to do with it, huh?
Not particularly.
Then you could be a short longshoreman, huh?
I suppose so.
Longshoreman, where do you work?
Down at San Pedro.
Where in San Pedro do you work?
On the docks.
I thought the docks worked on each other. Huh? What made you decide to become a longshoreman? Was it an urge to do uplifting work?
No, I believe I love the water.
Mm-hmm. Get that in the bathtub. You like the ocean, huh?
Yes, I do.
You like the sea. Why aren't you a sailor instead of a landlubber?
Well, that's not a very good way to raise a family.
That's not necessarily true. Fish manage pretty well. Huh? How far out to sea do you get as a longshoreman, huh?
Oh, about 25 feet.
Clarence, your anchor is dragging, huh? Now tell me, Whistle Stop. What are your duties as a conductor?
Well, to collect the tickets, see that the space is properly assigned, and to maintain the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought the engineer maintained the schedule.
No, I'm the head of the train.
I thought you looked familiar. You're the cowcatcher, in other words. Well, let's take an average day. What's the first thing you do when you report for work in the morning?
Compare your watch with a standard clock, and you check against inferior and superior trains.
Well, how do you tell an inferior train? Is it come from the wrong side of the tracks? What time does your train stop at San Pedro?
In which direction?
Going along the track. Isn't that the customary direction?
Well, I mean, going east or west.
It doesn't make any difference. East is east and west is west. And never the train shall meet. Well, tell me, conductor, what was your most unusual experience on your train?
Well, perhaps the most unusual was having babies arrive while en route.
You had a baby en route?
Well, yes, I've had 2 or 3.
Well, was it an upper or a lower berth? Well, tell me, did you throw the kid off because he didn't have a ticket, or...?
No, the new arrival and the mother was put off at the first stop for hospitalization.
Oh, I see. That was probably the first time your train ever had an arrival ahead of schedule. Now, incidentally, suppose you're racing along and the stork decides to make a landing on your caboose and you have to stop the train. How do you instruct the engineer?
We have a system of whistle signals.
I have a whistle signal, too, but no one stops for it.
Well, one whistle, when running, means look to your orders.
Well, what do you stick your head out the window and whistle? Or?
No, we have a system of air whistles within the train. You pull a cord.
Okay, well, what's two whistles?
Two whistles when standing means to start. Two whistles when running is stop the train at once.
You want to throw the kid off, huh?
Yeah.
And what's the next one? Three whistles.
Three whistles when standing is back the train. Three whistles when running is stop at the next station.
Mm-hmm. Sounds to me like you're always on a toot on that train. How do you get the train started again?
We give the engineer a highball.
No wonder you're always on a toot, huh? What time does your train stop at San Badu?
Yesterday it was 7:21 westbound and 6:21 eastbound. I don't know what it is today.
Oh. Well, as soon as it stops, will you signal for a highball for me? Now that I know all about railroads and longshoremen, you're going to get your chance to win a lot of money, you bet your life.
Car owners all over the country are familiar with the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. There are more than 3,000 of these signs from one end of this nation to the other. And each and every one of them is a cordial invitation to you to come in and get acquainted. These dealers are certain that once they have a chance to serve you, you'll come back whenever you need service for your car. The folks at a DeSoto Plymouth dealers will do their utmost to treat you fairly and squarely. That's their creed. It will pay you to give them a chance to show you what good service really means. So drive in next time you see the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth.
Now let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,500. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected farm animals and birds as your category. Is that right? Now you got $20. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$10.
What kind of a farm animal is an Aberdeen Angus?
Cow.
A cow is right.
And they're off to a great start with $30.
You conductor, you've been looking out the window. That's it. All right, now you got $30. How much you going to bet?
20.
$20. What kind of a farm animal is a percheron?
It's a horse.
Is a horse is right.
They're climbing. They have $50.
You stevedore, you've been loading horses, haven't you? All right, now you got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 will you try?
40.
$40. What kind of a farm animal is a Toggenburg? Toggenburg.
I think it's a goat.
A goat is right.
They're really climbing now. They have $90.
How much of the 90 are you going to try?
50.
50 is right.
$50. What is a pole in China?
Pig.
Pig.
A pig is right.
And they wind up with $140.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Don't run away now. You might get a chance at the big question.
Groucho, the secret word is still money. Perhaps the next couple will say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a housewife and a gardener, and here they are. Mrs. Sarah Pinola and Mr. Arthur Anders meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if one of you says the secret word while we're talking, he wins $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you use every day. A housewife and a gardener, eh? Mr., what is it, Anders? I presume you're the gentleman who does the gardening.
Yes, sir.
Are you married?
Yes.
Since you're a gardener, I'll bet I know what pet name you call your wife. Something you grow in your garden that begins with a P. You know what I'm thinking of?
Petunia?
No, I was thinking of pumpkin. But you know your wife better than I do. By the way, what's your wife's first name?
Peggy.
No, I'm afraid I don't know. What's your hometown, Mrs. Pinola?
Racine, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. What sort of work does your husband do?
He works for Los Angeles Transit Line, a bus driver.
Mm-hmm. How'd you meet him?
I met him in a shooting gallery where I was working.
Was he half shot at the time?
No, he was very happy when he walked in.
Oh. How was he when he left? What do you mean he was happy? What were you doing at the shooting gallery?
I was working.
Were you one of the clay pigeons?
I was loading up... No. I was loading up the guns and taking their money.
Sarah, you just said money, and that's tonight's secret word, so you just won $100 in cash. Compliments of the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. I bet you think money really grows on trees, huh? Now, what were we discussing before you shook that money tree, huh?
How I met my husband.
Oh, yes. You were loaded in the gallery. What was your husband doing there?
He was taking an evening stroll. And
Through a shooting gallery?
No, he passed the shooting gallery.
Uh-huh.
So he saw a girl working there, which was me. And he thought, well, he was going to have some fun.
He's pretty shrewd, isn't he, huh? The minute he saw you, he said, that's a girl, huh? You can't fool old man Pinola. He knows his stuff.
So he wanted to fool me, and he says, I bet I can outshoot you. But he didn't know it was coming. I says, okay. I says, see if you can outshoot me. So he shot about...
Is this verbatim?
He bought about $5 worth of shots. He'd take one round, and I'd take one round. And I kept beating him. He was mad. He put his hands in his pocket. He walked out. He was real mad. Then the next night he comes. I outshot him again. That went on for about a week. Well, he didn't spend
Well, how much did he spend by that time?
No, he must spend about $35 that week. Well, he was single. He could afford it.
I see. So, by this time, you were beginning to suspect that...
Yeah, so I said, oh, there's more to it than that. So
there's more to it than meets the bullseye, you said.
He says, I'm taking you out. He says, I'm going to show you. He says, if you can outshoot me on live game, he says, I'll marry you.
Kind of a curious proposal, isn't it?
We went, and I couldn't shoot at all.
You went where? Where'd you go?
We went hunting. It's in pheasant country up in Wisconsin.
Oh.
So we went hunting pheasants, and I'm ashamed to say I couldn't shoot a live game. Boy, he was good, though. He could shoot. But he says, I won't break your heart, honey. He says, I'll marry you anyway.
And did you love him by this time?
Oh, yeah, I liked him quite a bit.
Uh-huh. How old were you when all this happened, when you got married?
15.
15. Well, it's hard to shoot a pheasant when you're 15, I guess. Now tell me, Mr. Anders, you still here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Thought maybe you'd gone to seed. As a gardener, whom do you work for, Mr. Anders?
Well, I work for myself.
You're in business for yourself, huh? You developed your business by running it into the ground, eh? Now tell us, Chris, that's short for chrysanthemum. Do you know how to spell chrysanthemum?
Well, it's C-H-R... Well, you don't have to know how to spell them.
Mr. Anders, I'm aware of that, but where's your factory? On Flower Street?
No, I don't have a factory.
Fine gardener, doesn't even have a plant, huh? Specifically, what do you do in your job?
Oh, mow lawns, put in sprinkling systems,
I used to know a
cultivate
fellow named
plants.
Mo Lawn, huh? Have you planted anything in your garden lately, Sarah?
Yeah, I saw a cactus by some people we know, and I liked it, so I dug it out of their yard and made a hole in mine and put it in there.
Where were the people?
They were home.
Well, how did you plant it? You just dig a hole and
I
stick
just
it in
dug
there?
a hole and put it in. I said either it grows or it dies. I don't know.
Sarah, that's a pretty cynical attitude to have. Was she doing it the proper way, Mr. Anders?
Well, that's about right. It doesn't take too much knowledge to raise a cactus.
I guess the big trick is stealing the plant, huh? Are any flowers blooming this early in the year, Mr. Anders?
Well, there's quite a few early bloomers on this thing.
You mean on a windy day, huh? You say there are quite a few early bloomers. Do you ever find any ants in those early bloomers? This has been very educational, Mr. Anders, and you too, Sarah. Now let's see if a gardener and a housewife will get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question. You run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get the chance. I can't tell you how much the first couple won, but Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The conductor and the longshoreman earned $140.
You ready? Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected songs about the weather. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much of the 20 are you going to try?
10.
Give me the title of this weather song. Play, Jerry. Talk right up now.
No, let it snow.
Let it snow. The lady says let it snow.
$30, Groucho.
How much of the 30 will you try?
20.
What is the name of this song? Okay, Jerry.
On April showers.
April Showers.
They're climbing now. They have $50.
All right, now you got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 will you bet?
40.
$40. Is that all right with you? Here we go. Play it, Jerry.
We're having a heat wave.
We're having a heat wave.
Now they have $90.
All right, you've zoomed up to $90. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 90?
80.
$80. Give me the title of this song. Play, Jerry.
No, stormy weather.
Stormy Weather is right.
And they wind up with $170.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, we'll soon know who gets the chance at the $1,500 question. Fenneman, who's ahead?
Well, the housewife and the gardener are leading with $170, and the secret word is still money. Just before we went in the air, our studio audience selected Miss Margot Heister, a 10-cent store clerk, and Mr. J.C. Solomon, a diamond merchant. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, and if one of you says the secret word, he wins $100 instantly. It's a common word, something you use every day. Solomon, huh?
Right.
J.C. Solomon, huh? You're the diamond merchant, huh?
Right?
Where are you from, J.C.?
Chicago.
Thought maybe you'd be a stone's throw from Los Angeles, since you're in the diamond business, huh?
That's right.
You're from the Miss Heister? You're from the 10-cent store?
Yes, I am.
Which one?
Chris on Hollywood Boulevard.
Pretty fair-looking dish to be in 10-cent store. What's your hometown, Margot?
Sun Valley.
Sun Valley, Idaho? Are you a good skier?
No.
You never did any skiing there?
No.
That's the way it goes. People in Brazil never drink coffee. People here can't afford it. Huh? Are you married, Margot?
Yes, I am.
Well, let's talk about diamonds, huh? Tell me, J.C., do you ever hand out samples?
I never had out samples.
You don't give any diamonds away,
Don't give
huh?
diamonds away.
Haven't you ever given just a tiny little diamond to a beautiful girl?
Yes, I did once.
You slippery old dog, you. Did you ever see that girl again?
Yes, I do. I married her.
Was that to get the diamond back? Do you handle anything besides diamonds, Mr. Solomon?
Yes, I do. Rubies, sapphires, emeralds.
Precious stone once cost me $500. Did I get gypped?
Well, what kind of a stone did you buy?
I didn't buy any. The doctor didn't say. He charged me $500 for removing it. What are the semi-precious stones?
Well, they are opals, tourmalines,
I thought that's
aquamarines.
something you found under your house.
Aquamarines.
What color are opals?
Opals are a variety of colors. Every color under the sun is an opal.
That isn't true. Opals are only pink. I watched her hanging them on the line only this morning. Which is the most valuable of all the stones, Mr. Solomon?
I should judge a diamond is about the most valuable stone.
Why are they so expensive? Is such
Because
a big
they are in
demand?
demand. They are in demand.
Certainly is at my house, I know. We don't have any diamonds at my house, but there's certainly a big demand for them. How much do you charge for the average diamond?
Well, they run anywhere from $50 to $3,500 per carat.
It's a lot of money for a carat. I don't see how those rabbits can afford them. I think I'd better get back to figures I'm more accustomed to. Hello, Margot. How are you? What kind of rings are in greatest demand at your store?
Well, I think I'd say engagement and wedding rings.
I know a certain gardener who bought one of your rings. Maybe that's why he's got a green thumb now. Do you sell diamonds and emeralds and rubies in your dime store?
Yes, we do. Hundreds of them every day.
You do. How much would you charge me for a diamond bracelet? A little one.
Various prices. It's according to quality, up to $1.
Well, that's very reasonable, Mr. Solomon. How can you have the nerve to charge thousands of dollars for a diamond when Margot here sells them for $1?
Well, she sells you pure crystal glass.
Do you have any stones that would look good on me?
Oh, yes, I have a very nice stone that will look good on you.
No, I wasn't referring to a tombstone. I think I'll stick to opal. She's more in my line. Well, I learned a lot tonight from you two about dime store diamonds. Now you're going to try for a chance at the $1,500 question. You beat our other two couples and you win the chance at all that money. I can't tell you how much the other two couples won, but Fenneman's going to remind our listeners.
The housewife and the gardener are ahead with $170.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected nicknames of cities as your category. Is that right? You have $20. How much you going to try and talk right out loud into the microphone?
10.
What city is called the biggest little city in the world?
The biggest little city in the world.
Take a guess. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Reno. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 10 will you try?
I'll try 5.
5? What city is called the Mile High City?
No, the Mile High City is the Big Bear Lake.
No, I'm sorry. You had the right altitude, but the wrong town. It's Denver.
They have $5, Groucho.
How much you going to bet?
3.
3. What city is called the city of brotherly love? Well, now you're down to $2. It was Philadelphia.
Well, might as well.
It was Philadelphia. Should have known that from cream cheese. Now you're down to $2. Okay, here's your last chance to beat the other couple.
Yeah.
If you can beat the other couples with $2, Mr. Solomon,
Yeah.
you're a pretty shrewd cookie. How much you going to bet?
All of it.
All of it. Now, let's not go mad here. How about $1.90, Margot?
Make it the whole $2.
The whole $2? What city is called the Windy City?
Chicago.
Chicago!
And they wind up with $4.
Well, now, wait a minute. I don't want you to crawl away from here with only $4. I'm going to give you one more question. You get it right, and you're going to win $10. Remember, no coaching, please. Are you ready? Okay, now, put your thinking cap on. Who is buried in Grant's tomb? General Grant. Margot got it.
But they won $4, and that means the housewife and the gardener get the chance to the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question. You get the best equipment and the best workmanship whenever you take your car for service to an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. You get the benefit of factory-designed and approved tools and equipment. In addition, skilled mechanics who know how to use this equipment assure you of getting a better job done on your car in shorter time. This, of course, means money in your pocket. This also means a car that will serve you faithfully and economically mile after mile. So next time your car needs service, remember to stop in and get acquainted with a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Learn what so many car owners all over this country already know, that it pays to stop in at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here is the housewife and the gardener, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question, Groucho.
All right, you ready, Sarah?
Yeah.
Got your gun ready? Here we go for $1,500. Ready? I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please, no help in the audience. The Earl of Beaconsfield was Prime Minister of England in the 60s, and under his statesmanship, Britain grew to her greatest glory. What was the name of the Earl of Beaconsfield? The answer you two have decided upon.
Chatsworth?
No, it was Disraeli. Oh. Benjamin Disraeli. I'm sorry, the correct answer is Benjamin Disraeli, so that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $170 in cash, plus $100 for saying the secret word. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week the big question will be worth $2,000. Folks, be sure to see the article about Groucho and You Bet Your Life in the current issue of Look magazine.
Well, Crosby's waiting in the wings, so good night, folks. And remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a tip from the National Safety Council. Good drivers don't brag about their ability to get out of tight spots. They stay out of them. This is George Fenneman, signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is smile. S-M-I-L-E.
Really?
You Bet Your Life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Oh, that fellow's just love happy. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first to try for it?
Just before we went on the air, we asked if there were any young people in the audience who'd like to get married if they found the right person. And our studio audience selected Miss Rosalie Page and Mr. Bob Hartham, and here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if either of you says the secret word, you split $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you always have with you. So you two would like to get married, eh? Well, we'll see what we can do here. Miss Page, is that right?
That's right.
Rosalie Page.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Rosalie?
St. Louis, Missouri.
And where are you from? Bob Hartham?
Hartham.
Oh.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City.
Kansas
Well,
City.
you're practically stablemates, huh? How old are you, Bob?
35.
35. And Rosalie, what is your age?
27.
That's a lovely age. How long have you been 27?
Since October the 27th,
What year?
1949.
It isn't necessary to snarl at me, Rosalie. Well, you're a very pretty girl, Rosalie. Why aren't you married? You've reached the age of consent?
Well, nobody really ever asked me.
Well, nobody asked me, and I'm married. Bob, have you ever asked a girl to marry you?
No, never have.
Would you be interested in asking Rosalie?
Well, I don't know her.
Well, these days, that doesn't stop anybody. Besides, I can fix that. Bob, I want you to meet Rosalie.
How do you do?
Well, now it's all settled now. If I can just find you two a place to live, that's all. What sort of work do you do, Bob?
I'm a room clerk at the Townhouse Hotel.
Rosalie, I found you a place to live. Anything unusual ever happen around your hotel?
Oh, quite a few unusual things.
Well, could you give us one, an example?
Well, I remember particularly the first occasion when I roomed my first guest. This gentleman came up to the desk and put a portable radio on the desk and said, do you have AC or DC current here? And I went over to the information rack and I hurried back and said, no, sir, neither one is registered with us.
And you're still working at the hotel? Rosalie, who do you work for?
Jerry Ralston.
Jerry Ralston?
Yes.
Thought that was a breakfast food. What kind of work do you do, Rosalie?
I'm a legal secretary.
A legal secretary?
Yes.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Ralston, huh?
Yes.
What kind of a name is that for a law firm? Doesn't he have a complete lawyer's name like
Yes.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Shyster?
It's Fink, Ralston, Leventhal, and Kent.
Oh, see, I knew there were more handles to it than that. Now, Rosalie, as a legal secretary, just what do you do?
I start out in the morning by opening up the office and start filing and getting things ready for the boss, cleaning off his desk, and bring my book, and
You take dictation, huh?
I take dictation, yes.
Does your boss have comfortable knees? Huh?
No, I don't know.
Never sat on your boss's knee?
No.
Fine secretary. Huh? Where do you sit in your office?
On a chair.
You'll never get any work done that way, huh? What kind of dictation do you take from your boss, Rosalie?
Well, various pleadings like complaints, answers, and orders nunc pro tunc, and
What's that?
orders nunc pro tunc.
What is that?
Now for then.
No, for them. Why don't they say that, huh?
Well, because it's Latin. They don't want to say it that way.
Oh, they don't want anybody to know what they just said.
And,
What else do they say?
and then I draw up leases, and, oh, yes, I also do briefs.
You do, huh?
Yes.
You take the boss's briefs, huh?
I take his briefs.
What do you do, sew patches on them? Doesn't he get chilly standing there? Does he?
No, these are legal briefs.
Legal or illegal, he's got no right to be standing there. What are legal briefs?
Well, they're documents that are rather lengthy documents. that
Oh,
are-
long underwear, eh? That's the best kind to wear when you're making a court appearance. Eh? Is your chair more comfortable than your boss's knee?
Yes. No. Oh, I
Then you've tried your boss's knee, eh? Now, what kind of a knee has he got? Is it AC or DC? Well, you're really a charming couple, and I hope you'll be very happy together. Now, before we play You Bet Your Life, I'd like to remind you, when you buy Easter seals, you help all crippled children everywhere. Your donations will go to the crippled children in your state. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to try for a chance at $1,000. You bet your life.
No matter why you drive in to a DeSoto Plymouth dealers, for a major repair job or a simple one, you'll find it the honest desire of all the folks there to serve you to the very best of their ability. Yes, and that's the way all of the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America feel about the customers they serve. You'll find it their creed to treat you fairly and squarely day after day, year after year. Why do they do their utmost to serve you in this manner? Because they want you for a satisfied customer, a steady customer in the years to come. That's why, no matter what make of car you drive, it pays to stop where you see the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at $1,000. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected nursery rhymes as your category. Is that correct?
That's right.
Here's your first question. How much of the $20 will you bet?
$10.
$10. What did Old King Cole call for beside his bowl and pipe?
His fiddle's 3.
That's right. His fiddler's 3. Huh?
And they're on their way with $30.
All right. Now you got $30. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of the 30 will you try?
20.
$20. Where did Peter keep his wife?
And a pumpkin shell.
That's right. He kept her in a pumpkin shell.
Now they have $50,
Well,
Groucho.
so far it's a horse apiece. Now you got $50, huh? How much of the 50 you going to try?
40.
All right. What did the dish do when the cow jumped over the moon?
I ran away with a spoon.
That's right. The dish ran away with a spoon.
They're really climbing now. They have $90.
That's 2 for the girl and 1 for you. Hey, you may get married yet. Now you got $90, huh? Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 90?
80.
$80. Who swiped the tarts from the Queen of Hearts?
The knave.
The knave of hearts is right.
And they wind up with a grand total of $170.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, don't go away now. You might get a chance at the big question.
Groucho, the secret word is still smile. Perhaps the next couple will say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a beauty operator, Miss Lola Phillips, and her partner is a married man, Mr. Herb Parsons. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if one of you says the secret word, you divide $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Miss Lola Phillips, huh?
That's right.
A beauty operator, eh? And Mr. Parsons, you're a husband?
Yes, sir.
You're a husband, huh? Beauty and the Beast, huh? Mr. Herb Parsons, where did you come from?
Oh, out in the audience.
I know you're from the audience, but you weren't born out there, were you? How are things in the audience? Pretty good, huh? Pretty good, huh? How are conditions out there?
Very fine, very fine.
Uh-huh. Well, where are you from, Mr. Parsons?
Oh, Somerville, Tennessee.
And you're from where, Miss?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, huh? Are you married?
No, I'm not.
You're not, huh? Would you like to get married?
No, I wouldn't care to, thanks.
Well, that's the closest I've come in a long time. Now, what sort of work do you do, Mr. Parsons?
Oh, I shoot guns for Winchester.
You do, huh? Why doesn't Winchester shoot his own gun? What do you mean you shoot guns for Winchester? What kind of a job is that, huh?
Oh, it's a good job. I
It
go
is,
all over
huh?
the country, you know, just shooting guns.
Well, who do you shoot at specifically?
Oh, I usually shoot for sportsman club, you know.
How'd you meet your wife? Did you take a shot at her? Or
Well,
How'd you meet her?
oh, well, it was, you know, I married a smart girl. I found out later. It happened that there was a large hedge growing beside the walk, and I noticed one evening a little dog ran out and bit me on the breeches leg. I didn't pay too much attention to that. I thought the best thing for me to do would be to go in and complain to the landlord. And as soon as I turn into the hedge, she walks out and greets me. Which
Who? The
my
dog?
wife, both.
Oh.
And so I found out later that she was sick in the dog on me so that I would come in and complain, see? And
She was sick of you, did you say?
she is now, not then.
Now, what about the dog? You still got the dog?
No, the dog died.
Oh. He was lucky, wasn't he? Huh? Do you do anything else besides shoot guns? Do you have any hobbies?
Oh, I'd say my hobby was calling ducks.
Mm-hmm. What do you call them?
I just walk at them and quack at them. If they come by, then that's when I shoot them with the gun. Duck for dinner.
That's a pretty dirty trick, isn't it? Well, come on then.
You don't know when they call.
How does the wild goose go, do you know? Well, that's quite an accomplishment at that, I guess, huh? Look, what do you got there?
That's the duck call.
Well, how did you know you were going to meet a duck here tonight?
I always care this. This is a good luck piece.
Rap out a duck call.
Oh, maybe the
huh?
duck. It'll be way off yonder, about 300.
Is there a duck in the audience? Maybe you all better duck. He may have a gun with him, too.
Straight back there.
Well, okay, let's have that. That's a hotel in Chicago. We'll shoot it on here. And you mean to say that a duck finds that alluring?
No, his curiosity gets the best of him when he comes by.
Well, what does he think it is?
He doesn't know. That's the reason he comes by, I think.
Well, who figured that out?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that, but it
That's
works.
really a giant mind. Somebody figured out if we can get a sound that the duck doesn't know what it is, we can get a duck. Well, it's too much for me now. Where do you do your operating on beauties, Mrs. Phillips?
At Polly's Beauty Salon, 4875 Fountain Avenue.
Well, you're a beauty operator, all right. That plug was a beauty, I'll bet. What's the most popular type of service at your Fountain of Youth?
Pen, finger, and permanent waves.
What is it?
Pen, finger, and permanent waves.
Pen, finger, and permanent. I used to know a law firm by that name, huh? That finger was such a crook to what a sleazy character he was. What are some of the other things you do for females to help them trap a sucker?
Well, we give them manicures, pedicures, facials.
And they say a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Apparently a thing of beauty is a joy for about 3 days. Why do women go through all this chromium plating process?
Well, they want to bring out their natural beauty.
Well, how do you bring it out? In jars, huh? Now, you mentioned facials before. Just what is the purpose of a facial?
Well, it will tighten the skin. It'll remove crow's feet.
Some of your customers have crow's feet? They keep their shoes on, nobody will notice it. Well, how do you tighten the skin? Do you use a screwdriver or a socket wrench?
No,
What do you do? Roll it up their back or something? What's the latest haircut style for women at the moment?
Well, it's contour cutting to the shape of the head.
Might turn up some very interesting heads. What do you do with a head that's shaped like an ashtray? Do you ever listen to your customers when they gab to each other?
Oh, I'm much too busy.
I see, but what do they talk about? For example, what did they say this morning when you were in the shop? Huh?
Oh, one lady was talking about how much she lost at
But
Canasta.
you don't listen when they talk, huh? Have you been listening intently to all this secret stuff about beauty shops, Mr. Parsons?
Very much.
Pretty revealing, isn't it, huh?
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Well, tell me, which do you prefer, a blonde, a brunette, or a redhead?
Oh, I kind of like about between a blonde and a redhead.
Well, that's a perfect place to be. That's certainly better than being between a blonde and a bald-headed man. Well, after talking to a beauty operator, I know all the secrets of the opposite sex, but despite that, I love them anyway. So help me. And now you're going to play the DeSoto Plymouth game. You bet your life for a chance at $1,000. You beat the other couples, and you get a chance at the big question. I can't tell you how much the first couple won, but Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The legal secretary and the hotel clerk earned $170.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected Irish songs as your category. Is that right?
That's right.
Here's your first question. You have $20. How much will you bet?
$10.
Yeah, anything you want. Anything up to 20. What is the name of this Irish song? Play, Jerry. Take a guess. What is it? Danny Boy is right.
We're on their way. They have $30, Groucho.
Well, Miss Phillips, we thought we lost you that time. Now you got $30. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. And if you don't give the right answers, he's liable to shoot you when this thing is over. Now, how much of the $30 will you bet?
20. That's about 20.
$20. Give me the title of this song. McNamara's Band.
They're climbing. We have $50.
All right, you got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 will you go for?
$40.
$40. Okay with you, Mr. Parsons?
That's very good.
Let's see if you can identify this Irish song. Okay, Jerry? The Wearing of the Green is right.
They're really on their way now. They have $90.
You've got $90, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 90 will you try?
Let's bet it all.
Okay.
Okay. What is the name of this song?
Something about our...
What's the answer? Take a guess at
Did
it.
you make the Shamrocks go or something?
No, I'm sorry. It's a little bit of heaven.
A little bit of heaven.
You were close to it. I'm terribly sorry. Well, I'll give you one more question. You get it right and you win $10. Remember, no coaching, please. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Who is buried in Grant's tomb?
Oh, Grant.
General Grant is right. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, we'll soon know who gets the chance at the $1,000 question.
You know, friends, every dealer who sells DeSoto also sells Plymouth.
Is that by any chance why they're called DeSoto Plymouth dealers?
Precisely, Groucho.
How clever. Now ask me, how many DeSoto Plymouth dealers there are?
All right, Groucho. How many DeSoto Plymouth dealers are there from coast to coast?
Well, they're under 4,000.
Well, it's over 3,000.
Well, that's under 4,000. Fenneman, can't you count higher than 3,000?
Yes, and you can count on the best in service, a fair and square price, when you visit any authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
An accurate statement if I ever heard one. Fenneman, who's ahead in the battle for the $1,000 question?
Well, the secretary and the hotel clerk are leading with $170, and the secret word is still smile. Just before we went on the air, we asked for couples with an interesting occupation, Groucho, and here comes a pair who was chosen. Mr. and Mrs. John Schlieser meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life, folks. And if you say the DeSoto Plymouth secret word, you win $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Mrs. Schlieser, Ruth Schlieser, huh? Where are you from, Ruth?
Oh, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx.
You're really spread all over town, aren't you? Where were you born, the subway?
Oh, maybe. Who knows?
Well, I certainly don't.
Can't
John, where are you from?
Belgrade, Serbia.
Belgrade, that's
now
the
they
kind
call him Yugoslavia.
Oh. I wouldn't know. I haven't heard a news broadcast for over an hour. Huh? John, what sort of interesting occupation do you and Ruth have, since that's the reason you were picked here tonight?
Well, I'm a taxidermist and naturalist.
What do you do as a naturalist and taxidermist?
Well, I mount all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, fish.
Well, don't be sizing me up, you know. You're a taxidermist, huh? Well,
Yes,
you don't
sir.
look stuffy to me, John, huh? How old are you, Mr. Schlieser?
Well, I am 74 years young.
Well, you're very young looking. Very young looking. And how young are you, Mrs.
Hi.
Schlieser?
Would you guess?
Well, if you stop wiggling, I'll take a guess at it. Well, I would say you were about 31.
Oh, brother, you're far from it.
I'm far from it?
Uh-huh.
In which direction, huh?
Oh.
Now, tell us something about taxidermy. It's a very unusual occupation. For example, say I wanted you to stuff a lion. What's the first thing on the list?
Well, first get the lion.
Well, let's make it a leopard, huh? That's a leopard. All right, I've got a lion. Never mind where I got it. Go ahead. What do you do, huh?
Well, first of all, you know, I
know. First you get the lion. I know that.
That's the first thing. And be sure that he's dead. Then we take a complete measurement.
Well, how do you find out if he's dead? Do you take an autopsy or send for the coroner?
When they come to me, I'm sure they're dead.
But if they come at you, you're not so sure, huh? Well, you've had wide experience with dead animals. Have you ever handled any live animals, Professor?
Oh, yes, I had. Sorriest experience. I was out collecting in Africa, and that day it happened that the lion see me first. And I had no chance. Quick pull my gun, and he made a roaring leap, but he was too close, they mauled me.
You must have been a very well-trained lion. He wanted to stuff himself with you. Huh? How did you get to be a taxidermist?
I loved everything what God created. Immaterial, what kind of animals, reptiles, insects, everything. I was interested in them.
Mm-hmm. What's the largest animal you ever worked on, Mr. Schlieser?
It's a brontosaurus.
I beg your pardon. I thought you said a brontosaurus, huh?
That's what I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did, huh? I can keep this up as long as he can. Cocktails, anyone? Well, it's certainly been very interesting and instructive having you here tonight. You see, if I never met you, I'd never know anything about taxidermy. Now I know practically everything about it. Now, let's see how good you two are at winning money. You're going to play You Bet Your Life for $1,000. You beat the other two couples, and you get a chance at the big question later. I can't tell you how much they won, but Fenneman's going to remind our listeners.
The hotel clerk and the secretary are ahead with $170.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected biblical questions as your category. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
10.
Well,
All right. Who was the wicked wife of Ahab? A-H-A-B. She was trampled to death.
I don't know.
Well, it was Jezebel, huh?
They have $10, Groucho.
All right. Now you're down to, remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of the $10 will you try?
20.
That shows you what you can do when you stuff animals, huh? All right, how much of the $10 will you try?
Well, 5.
$5, all right. What prophet lived 3 days and 3 nights inside a whale?
Well, I don't know. I give up.
Have you never stuffed a whale?
No.
Well, this one was stuffed with Jonah. You should have known that.
They have $5 now.
Now you're down to $5. Here's your third question. How much of the $5 will you bet?
Well, I bet.
The works?
I bet the 5.
All right. Who led the attack at the Battle of Jericho?
I never paid much attention
Well,
to
it was
that.
Joshua. These are tough
Joshua.
questions. I'm not surprised that you don't know them. I certainly wouldn't know them. All right, I'm going to give you another chance to get rich quick. You get this one right, and I'll hand over $10 in cash immediately. It's a tough one, so think hard now, and no coaching, please. What is the name of the famous president whose daughter is a singer?
Oh, Truman.
Truman is right, huh?
This couple lost all their money, so that means the secretary and the hotel clerk with $170 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. To get expert, courteous service at the lowest possible cost, more and more car owners every day drive into DeSoto Plymouth dealers. That's a wise thing for you to do, too. For DeSoto Plymouth dealers always do their utmost to please you in every way they can. They have factory-trained mechanics working with factory-designed and approved tools and equipment. They make sure the service they offer in their shops is the best service you can get anywhere. And that goes for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers throughout America, all of whom take pride in their reputation for fast, efficient, courteous service. Keep this in mind next time your car needs attention, and drive in at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here is the secretary and the hotel clerk, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question, Groucho.
Here we go for $1,000. Ready? I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, and think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. Although there are many walled cities in Europe, W-A-L-L-E-D, although there are many walled cities in Europe, there is only one walled city in North America. For $1,000, can you tell me what it is? Okay, what's the answer you two have decided upon?
Well, I don't know.
I thought it was West Point, but
No, I'm sorry. It's Quebec, the former capital of Canada. I'm sorry. That means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $170 in the quiz. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week, the big question will be worth $1,500.
Well, Bing Crosby is waiting to use the hall, so good night, folks. And remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a tip from the National Safety Council. It's a wise driver who believes in highway signs. This is George Fenneman, signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is door. D-O-O-R.
Really?
You Bet Your Life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
He's the egg the Easter Bunny brought. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples. George Fenneman, who gets first crack at all that money?
We invited some steel workers and some icemen to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Iceman Ray Morgan and Steelman Dan Daniel. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, boys, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if one of you says the secret word, you divide $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Ray Morgan, you're the Iceman?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Where do you work?
Work for Union Ice Company in Hollywood.
What do you do?
Oh, we make and deliver ice.
Oh. Well, how do you make ice?
Oh, we put water in tanks.
You're welcome, huh? You're sort of an American institution, aren't you? How many housewives still look forward to the Iceman every morning?
Oh, thousands of them.
Thousands? What's so? How many of them take ice? Now, Mr. Daniel, what sort of work do you do?
Steel worker.
You work at steel? You mean you're a crook? Now, why do you commit all this larceny?
U.S. Steel Works.
U.S. Steel Works? Yes. Are you married?
Yes, sir.
How'd you meet your wife? Did you steal her, too? Or?
Well, I met her on a blind date. I had a date with her sister, and I went out, and the fellows had me tingled up, and they tingled the girls up, and they tingled the girls up, and I get the one I was supposed not to get, and the one that I got. I married the girl.
You could work for the State Department. What is your job as a steel worker?
I'm an open hearth operator.
Open hearth?
I help the melter.
You help the melter, huh? At the smelter?
No, there's no smelter.
That's only when the melter's in a swelter at the smelter, is that? Why don't you have a smelter?
We don't have any pig iron.
Well, if you don't have any pig iron, obviously you have no use for a smelter, huh? Why don't you have pig iron?
We don't have any iron ore.
Iron ore what, huh? Iron ore hogs, or... Now, what do you do? How do you help the melter?
I help him charge the furnace.
Why does he charge the furnace? Why doesn't he pay cash for it? What do you charge the furnace with, Seltzer?
The charging ram.
You mean you have a trained goat? Now start from the beginning, will you?
Well, the scrap is brought up in charging buggies, and we use the ram.
Brought up in what?
In charging buggies.
Charging buggies?
Yeah.
What is a charging buggy? I never heard of it.
That's electrically operated ram.
Oh. Well, you say you got my goat. I don't know about that. Okay, now what happens?
Well, that's where I come in, really, as a first helper. When we charge the furnace, I take over there and melt the scrap down.
Where does the word pig come from in connection with this?
Well,
you have to be hammy to make it, or?
Well, that's a good answer.
Frankly, you don't know, is that it, huh?
That's right.
You've been shoveling that Schweinerei into that furnace all these years? And you're having the faintest idea why it's called pig iron, huh?
I know why it's called pig iron. It's called put in a trough and
put in a trough?
Yes,
oh, no.
Put in a trough and
I see.
Cool down.
And the pig goes for the trough, is that it? Now, Rusty, if you had to do it all over again, would you go back into the steel business?
Yes, Mr. Marks, I would.
Why would you?
Well,
I know the pig iron. I know that.
Well, everything.
The trough, huh?
Everything that we have today is basically steel. Not everything, but most of it.
Not French pastry.
Well, steel is something that's here to stay, and all of these fine cars is made of the best steel, and you just can't get rid of it. That's the truth. 23 years for U.S. Steel, and it's been a fine company to work for.
Yeah.
That's true.
I hear they haven't got a quarter, huh? Well, let's forget about America's industry for now. In just 1 minute, you're going to work together for a chance at $1,500, which is more important.
When you stop in at any of the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers, it makes no difference how big or how small the service job to be done. The important thing is, these dealers appreciate your call. And to prove it, they make it their business to please you in every way they can. To do this, they offer you the benefit of not only the best tools and equipment, not only the factory-trained mechanics, but they offer you courtesy and a fair deal. Being courteous and thoughtful, being fair and square is their creed, their way of doing business. So, wherever you drive, remember, across this nation are more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers, each with an honest desire to serve you. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,500. Fenneman, bring them up to date on the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected sports personalities as your category. Is that right? Now, you have $20. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you bet?
$5.
In what sport is Sam Snead famous?
Golf.
Golf is right.
They have $25 now.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of the 25 will you try?
Let's take 15 this time.
Okay.
15.
Doesn't agree with him. He's liable to hit him over the head with an ingot. In what sport is Jack Kramer famous?
Tennis.
Tennis is right.
They're climbing, Groucho. They have $40.
All right, you got $40. Here's how much you going to bet on this one? Here's your third question. How much of the 40?
$30.
$30. In what sport is Johnny Longden famous?
Horse racing.
Horse racing is right.
They're really climbing now. They have $70.
All right, now you got $70. Now, how much of the 70 are you going to try?
Sure. $70.
$70
The whole
you're going
works.
to bet? In what sport is Ralph Kiner famous?
Baseball.
Baseball is right.
And they wind up with a grand total of $140.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Stick around now. You may get the chance at the big question.
Groucho, the secret word is still door. Perhaps the next couple will say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a baby photographer and a young mother, and here they are, Mrs. Linda Sutton and Mr. Newell Morris. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life, folks. And if one of you says the secret word at any time, you divide $100 between you. It's a common word, something you see every day. Well, let's see. Mr. Newell Morris, that must be you, huh? Baby photographer, huh? Where are you from, baby?
I'm a native.
How many babies do you photograph on an average day?
Oh, I snap around 10 or 15.
You go around snapping at babies? Well, at least you're a candid photographer. And Miss Linda Sutton, huh? A very pretty name and a very pretty girl, huh? Have you always been this pretty?
Ask my mother.
Well, drag her out, I will. Where are you from, Mrs. Sutton?
I'm from outside of Boston.
Where is outside of Boston?
Well, I'm just on the edge of the Cape.
Well, look out you don't fall off, huh? You're a young mother, is that right?
That's right.
How old are you, Linda?
I'm 27.
And how old is your baby?
Well, they were a year. Christmas Day. I have twins, twin boys.
You have twins, huh? And how old is your husband?
He's 28.
28? You know what a steel ingot is, huh? You say your husband is in the steel business?
No, he's a lineman for the telephone company.
Which phone company does he work for?
Well, there's only one.
No, that's not true. There are many phone companies. You ought to have your husband wise you up to some of these things. Can't just go on having twins, you know. There are other... In other words, he works for AT&T, is that it? How'd you meet him?
Oh, I met him. I was fishing for eels.
And that's the best you could do?
I come from a family of 6. I'm the only girl. I have 5 brothers. And they're always, my big brother...
Well, thanks for the warning, Mr. Sutton.
My big brother was going to... It was
Just how big is your big brother?
Well, I have 5. Any size you want, I got them.
Now then, we were on the eels, huh?
Well, my mother wanted us to go get some eels, not to eat, but just to feed our cats. We had 9 cats.
9 cats and only 5 brothers? That isn't even 2 cats apiece.
Well, anyway, my brother took me along so I could watch my little brother. Because as soon as I got there, my big brother went away. I think he went talking to some girls or something. So,
Really?
then my other brother...
You mean he preferred girls to eels? Can't be much of a man, that fella, right?
And he came back in a little while, and he had this other fellow with him. And he says, hey, sis, this is Sutton. So he reached into the bucket that he had, and he pulled out this great big long eel, and he threw it at me. And I guess he meant me to catch it, but anyway, it hit me right in the face.
Is that considered romance in Massachusetts? Has strange customs in New England. Slapping a girl in the kisser with an eel, I never thought was just the right way to get introduced to a girl. Huh? Do you work, Mrs. Sutton?
Well, yes, I do. I have a part-time job as a chocolate dipper.
I beg your pardon. What did you say? What did you say you dip?
Chocolates.
You dip chocolates? Dip them in what?
Chocolate. I work with nuts. You take 3 nuts.
Mrs. Sutton, don't think that I don't. Huh? I've worked with more nuts than you'll ever see. Huh? The girl tells me that she gets married because somebody slapped her in the kisser with an eel. Well, are you... Mister, I've been neglecting you, mister. This was such a fascinating saga of love in New England that I just couldn't get away from it. You say you're a baby photographer, Mr. Morris?
That's right.
How do you go about taking a baby's picture?
Well, if they're about 12 pounds, well, you prop them up on a pillow to start.
If they're under 12, what do? Throw them back? Are babies like adults in that you can occasionally have to retouch babies' pictures?
Oh, yes, you occasionally retouch babies.
Well, how do you do it, huh?
Well, you have to take out the bags under their eyes and stray hair.
You mean those kids have bags under their eyes? That's what they get for staying up all night, huh? Getting the bottle. A lot of those kids are old soaks. Who takes the pictures in your family, you or your husband?
Well, I take them of him, and he takes them of me.
Well, that's the only way you can do it, huh? Unless you have arms 8 feet long. Well, who takes the best pictures, you or your husband?
Well, I do. The pictures he takes, they don't look like me.
What do you mean?
Right. And they wind up with a grand total of $250.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, we'll soon know who gets the chance at the $1,500 question.
And now, a word from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Just a minute, Fenneman. If each dealer has a word, that'll be 3,000, and this is only a half-hour program.
Well, Groucho, actually, words can't do justice to the skilled service you get when you drive your car into an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer's place of business.
In that case, this is the only program in radio that doesn't need an announcer.
What I mean, Groucho, is that one must experience how the skilled DeSoto Plymouth mechanics working with the finest equipment can save time and money on your car.
One must experience. Shouldn't we try to get a few more people into the DeSoto Plymouth dealers? Maybe 3 or 4?
Oh, you know what I mean.
So does everybody else. So on with the show. Who's ahead in the battle for the $1,000?
The housewife and the baby photographer are leading with $250, and the secret word is still door. We invited some Belgian war brides and their ex-GI husbands to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. and Mrs. Chico Tellez. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word while we're talking, you'll win $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Tellez, is that the way you pronounce it?
That's right.
Tellez, huh? You're a Belgian war bride. Where are you from?
I'm from Belgium.
Just what I suspected, huh? I mean, what part of Belgium are you from?
From Molenbeek Saint-Jean.
Is that anywhere near Brussels?
Well, you know, in a country so small, most anything would be close to Brussels.
Oh, I don't know. How about Detroit? That's pretty far from Brussels.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're the Belgian war groom, I presume, eh? Chico?
No, I'm
Hey,
not.
I used to have a brother named Chico. Huh?
Well, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you. Could be. Chico Telez, huh? What kind of a name is that? That's not a Belgian name, huh? What nationality is
It's
it?
a Spanish name.
Where are you from?
Mexico.
I suppose you were married in Hungary, huh? What kind of work do you do, Chico? Are you in love happy?
I'm a student at Art Center and I'm a photographer.
What sort of work did you do in Belgium before you were captured by Chico here?
I was secretary.
You were a secretary?
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing for Uncle Sam when you met Lillian?
I was in the Signal Corps in the photographic section. In the Army, of course.
Yeah. Were you right up front?
Naturally, I couldn't get out of there.
Do you have any little Brussels sprouts, Lillian?
Brussels. No, not yet.
You have a delightful accent, Lillian. You speak English very well for us.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to learn it?
About 3 years.
3 years. You're very quick to learn. Do you speak any other languages?
Yes, French and German.
I speak a number of languages myself, you know. Should we have a little conversation in Belgian?
In what?
In Belgian? Just you and I, yeah?
In Belgium. That would be impossible.
Don't you speak Belgian?
Nobody speaks Belgian. There isn't such a language.
Well, frankly, I don't speak it very well myself. Why don't the Belgians have a tongue of their own?
That's because there are 2 types of people in Belgium.
Men and women?
No, that's not what I mean.
They don't have men and women in Belgium?
Yes, they
You better
do
clear
too.
up this whole thing, Lillian.
Well, yeah, they have men and women, all right. But what I mean by 2 types is that they have Walloon and Flemish people, and they both have a different language, see?
Oh, well, could you say something in Flemish? Could you tell me a short
Well,
joke?
I'm from the French part. I don't know Flemish very well.
Could you tell me a short joke in French?
In French?
Yeah.
Yes, I could.
Let's have one.
You mean in French right away like that? No.
Yeah, and then tell me what it means. Huh?
I guess I can get away with it. Well,
Well, clean it up a little, will you?
Connaissez-vous l'histoire du monsieur qui fut réveillé à 3 heures du matin par le téléphone à 3 heures du matin et il se rendit compte que c'était le mauvais numéro. Alors le monsieur à l'autre bout de la ligne s'excuse de ce que ce soit le mauvais numéro et de ce qu'il est dérangé. Alors il dit, oh, ça ne fait rien, de toute façon je devais me lever pour répondre au téléphone.
Chico, did you understand that? Well, it's really been very interesting having you both here tonight, and I wish you a long and happy married life. Now, you're going to try for a chance at the $1,500 question. Beat the other 2 couples, and you win the chance at all that money. I can't tell you how much our other 2 couples won, but Fenneman's going to remind our listeners.
The housewife and the baby photographer are ahead with $250.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected composers of operas as your category.
Yes.
All right, now you have $20. How much are you going to try?
Well, we don't want...
$10. Is that all right, Chico?
I suppose so.
All right, who was the composer of Carmen?
Ambroise Thomas? No, I got it wrong.
No, I'm sorry, it was Bizet.
Oh, yes.
They now have $10.
You were too busy to remember that, that's all. Well, now you've only got $10. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the $10 will you try?
$5.
$5. Who was the composer of Lohengrin?
That's a good question.
Wait. Can I say?
Yes.
Wagner.
Oh.
Wagner.
Wagner is right.
Well, they're gaining their money back. They now have $15.
Chico, that was not only a good question, that was a good answer, too. All right, now you got $15. Here's your third question. How much of the 15 will you bet? And remember, either of you can answer this question, you know.
5.
You're going to bet $5, huh?
10.
$10. You're back in Belgium. He's the boss over there.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, who was the composer of The Marriage of Figaro?
Oh. Couldn't be Mozart, no.
Mozart is right.
$25.
All right, now you got $25, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 25 will you risk?
15.
Who was the composer of Rigoletto?
Is it Verdi?
Verdi is right.
And they wind up with $40. And that means the housewife and the baby photographer with $250 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question. Three things you can always count on when you visit any one of the DeSoto Plymouth dealers: efficient service, courteous service, service at a fair price. These dealers are equipped and eager to give your car the very best in service, no matter how major or how simple a repair job. DeSoto Plymouth dealers have factory-trained mechanics who know your car inside and out, regardless of what make or what year it happens to be. And in the hands of these expert mechanics are the most modern tools and equipment made. In other words, you can always count on really top service when you drive your car in at the sign of any authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here's the housewife and the baby photographer, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question, Groucho.
All right, here's the lady with the eels and the chocolate dips, and we'll see how smart you are now. Here we go for $1,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. In the original Constitution of the United States, there are 7 articles. How many amendments have been added to the Constitution? You must tell me exactly. All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
22.
No, I'm it's awfully close. There are 21 amendments to the Constitution. I'm sorry, that's the correct answer, 21 amendments, so that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $250 in the quiz. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, 2 great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week the big question will be worth $2,000.
I'd like to thank the readers of Radio Mirror magazine for voting our show the best of its kind on the air. Well, Bing Crosby's all tuned up and ready to go, so good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a tip from the National Safety Council. If you can't control your temper, you can't control your driving. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.